Which of the following tells us about how people lived in England just after the Norman Conquest? A. The Domesday Book. B. The Book of Common Prayer. C. The Canterbury Tales. D. The Magna Carta. The answer is A. The Domesday Book.
What happened to Charles I after he was in prison? A. He moved to Spain. B. He became a priest. C. He escaped to France. D. He was executed. The answer is D. He was executed. Who was given the title of Lord Protector? A. Charles I. B. Charles II. C. Winston Churchill. D. Oliver Cromwell. The answer is D. Oliver Cromwell. Who was Boudicca? A. One of the tribal leaders who fought against the Romans. B. One of the architects who built Hadrian's Wall. C. A Viking king. D. One of the tribal leaders who fought against the Vikings. The answer is A. One of the tribal leaders who fought against the Romans. Who came from the Netherlands to become the British monarch? A. William II. B. Charles II. C. Edward II. D. George II. The answer is B. Charles II. Which historical monument did William the Conqueror build? A. St. Paul's Cathedral. B. The Cenotaph. C. Dumfries House. D. The White Tower. The answer is D. The White Tower.
Which Jubilee did Queen Elizabeth II celebrate in 2012? A. Golden Jubilee. B. Silver Jubilee. C. Platinum Jubilee. D. Diamond Jubilee. The answer is D. Diamond Jubilee. Who fought in the English Civil War of 1642? A. The House of York and the House of Lancaster. B. The Anglo-Saxons and the Vikings. C. The Cavaliers and the Roundheads. D. The House of Fraser and the House of Stuart. The answer is C. The Cavaliers and the Roundheads. What battle is commemorated in the Bayeux Tapestry? A. The Battle of Waterloo. B. The Battle of Trafalgar. C. The Battle of Hastings. D. The Battle of Britain. The answer is C. The Battle of Hastings. Where was Anne Boleyn, the wife of Henry VIII, executed? A. Houses of the Parliament. B. Stonehenge. C. The Tower of London. D. Whitehall. The answer is C. The Tower of London. When was England ruled by a republic and not by a monarch? A. When Elizabeth I died without any successor. B. When Charles I was executed. C. When the Magna Carta restricted the king's power. D. When King Harold died after the Battle of Hastings. The answer is B. When Charles I was executed. Who was the father of Queen Elizabeth I? A. Edward I. B. Henry V. C. Henry VII. D. Henry VIII. The answer is D. Henry VIII. Which king was executed in 1649? A. James I. B. Charles II. C. James VII. D. Charles I. The answer is D. Charles I. Who was defeated at the Battle of the Boyne? A. James I. B. James II. C. Richard I. D. Richard II. The answer is B. James II. When did Germany invade Poland? A. 1942. B. 1941. C. 1940. D. 1939. The answer is D. 1939. William of Orange invaded England without resistance and became king. What was this event called? A. The Glorious Revolution. B. The Restoration. C. The Great Depression. D. The Blitz. The answer is A. The Glorious Revolution. Why did Henry VIII establish the Church of England? A. Because the Pope didn't let him to divorce his first wife, Catherine of Aragon. B. Because the Pope didn't let him to marry Catherine Howard. C. Because the Pope wanted England to be a Catholic country. D. Because the Pope didn't let him to divorce his wife, Anne of Cleves. The answer is A. Because the Pope didn't let him to divorce his first wife, Catherine of Aragon. What name is given to Irish people who favoured complete independence from the UK in the 19th century? A. Fenians. B. Quakers. C. Highlanders. D. Suffragettes. The answer is A. Fenians. The Boer War 1899–1902 took place in which British Empire country? A. Netherlands. B. Falkland Islands. C. Gibraltar. D. South Africa. The answer is D. South Africa. What led the American colonies to want their independence from Britain? The British government wanted to control their borders. They were running out of resources. The British government wanted to tax them. Or there were not enough jobs for the local people. The answer is C. The British government wanted to tax them. What happened to Mary, Queen of Scots, after being sent to prison for 20 years by her cousin, Queen Elizabeth I? A. She got married. B. She was sent to France. C. She was executed. D. She was sent to Scotland. The answer is C. She was executed. What is the name of the long war that English kings fought with France in the Middle Ages? The Crimean War? The First World War? The 100 Years' War? Or the Boer War? The answer is C. The 100 Years' War. Where was William the Conqueror from? Italy? Portugal? France? Or Ireland? The answer is C. France. Which two of these forts were part of Hadrian's Wall? A. Vindolanda. B. Maiden Castle. C. Halsteads. D. Grimsby. The answers are A. Vindolanda and C. Halsteads. What is the name of the tour guides that tell visitors stories about the Tower of London's history? Knights, Chartists, Suffragettes, or Beefeaters? The answer is D. Beefeaters. Under which name was the movement of opinion against the authority of the Pope during the times of Henry VIII known? A. The Spanish Inquisition. B. The Holy Wars. C. The Reformation. D. The Enlightenment. The answer is C. The Reformation. Who supported King Charles I during the Civil War? A. Roundheads. B. Suffragettes. C. Quakers. D. Cavaliers. The answer is D. Cavaliers. After the Black Death, new social classes appeared in England, including owners of large areas of land known as A. Judiciary. B. Gentry. C. Clans. D. Nobility. The answer is B. Gentry.
Which two languages were used across England during the Middle Ages? A. Welsh, B. Gaelic, C. Norman French, D. Anglo-Saxon. The answers are C. Norman French and D. Anglo-Saxon.
Which king was defeated by Oliver Cromwell during the Civil War and hid in an oak tree before escaping to Europe? A. Richard III, B. Charles II, C. James I, D. Henry IV. The answer is B. Charles II.
Who defeated Emperor Napoleon at the Battle of Waterloo in 1815? A. The Duke of Wellington, B. Admiral Nelson, C. Richard Arkwright, D. The Duke of Edinburgh. The answer is A. The Duke of Wellington.
Who was supported by clansmen from the Scottish Highlands and raised an army in 1745? Bonnie Prince Charlie, Robert Burns, Oliver Cromwell, or Kenneth MacAlpin? The answer is A. Bonnie Prince Charlie. Which two houses fought in the War of the Roses? The House of Chester, the House of York, the House of Lancaster, or the House of Newcastle? The answers are B. The House of York, and C. The House of Lancaster.
Who was the first person to lead a Roman invasion of Britain in 55 BC? A. Emperor Claudius, B. Julius Caesar, C. Napoleon, D. William Caxton. The answer is B. Julius Caesar.
When did the English defeat the Spanish Armada? 1466, 1066, 1254, or 1588? The answer is D. 1588. When did the first farmers come to Britain? 10,000 years ago? 6,000 years ago? 15,000 years ago? Or 2,000 years ago? The answer is B. 6,000 years ago.
What name is given to the tombs where people buried their dead during the Bronze Age? A. Shara Bray, B. Hill forts, C. Round barrows, D. Canute. The answer is C. Round barrows.
When did the First World War end? A. At 12 p.m. on 11th November 1914, B. At 12 p.m. on 11th November 1918, C. At 11 a.m. on 11th November 1914, D. At 11 a.m. on 11th November 1918. The answer is D. At 11 a.m. on 11th November 1918. What food shortage caused the famine in Ireland? A. Corn, B. Potato, C. Wheat, D. Oats. The answer is B. Potato. What country was in conflict with the UK for trading reasons during the 18th century? Andorra, Germany, France, or Luxembourg? The answer is C. France.
What was the symbol of the House of Tudor? A. A red rose with a white rose inside it. B. A red rose. C. A white rose. D. A white rose with a red rose inside it. The answer is A. A red rose with a white rose inside it. Which tribe came to Britain from Northern Europe after the Romans left in AD 410? A. The Gepids, B. The Jutes, C. The Frisians, D. The Saxons, E. The Angles. The answers are B. The Jutes, D. The Saxons, and E. The Angles. During the Great Depression in the 1930s, which industry was badly affected? A. Housing construction, B. Shipbuilding, C. Automobile, D. Aviation. The answer is B. Shipbuilding. Who was invited to invade and rule England in 1688? A. The Duke of Medina Sidonia, B. Napoleon, C. King Philip II of Spain, D. William of Orange. The answer is D. William of Orange. Which of the following countries did not belong to the Allies during World War I? A. France, B. Bulgaria, C. The UK, D. Australia. The answer is B. Bulgaria. What name is given to the period in the 18th century when new ideas about politics, philosophy, and science were developed? A. The Glorious Revolution, B. The Industrial Revolution, C. Elizabethan, D. The Enlightenment. The answer is D. The Enlightenment. When did the Black Death take place? A. The Golden Age, B. The Stone Age, C. The Middle Ages, D. The Iron Age. The answer is C. The Middle Ages. How do you call the settlers from the Netherlands who went to war with the British in South Africa? A. Blacksmiths, B. Boers, C. Conquistadors, D. Beef eaters. The answer is B. Boers. What kind of disaster was the Black Death? A. A plague, B. An earthquake, C. A famine, D. A civil war. The answer is A. A plague. Which country was invaded by Germany in 1939? A. Austria, B. Italy, C. Russia, D. Poland. The answer is D. Poland. What proportion of the population died as a result of the Black Death in England? A. Half of the population, B. 1/3 of the population, C. 55% of the population, D. 1/4 of the population. The answer is B. 1/3 of the population. Why was Ireland's Home Rule delayed until 1921? A. Because of the First World War, B. Because of the Second World War, C. No king was on the throne, D. Because of the Black Death. The answer is A. Because of the First World War. Who was reigning in England when English settlers first began to colonize the eastern coast of America? A. Queen Victoria, B. Henry VIII, C. Elizabeth I, D. Charles II. The answer is C. Elizabeth I. Elizabeth I was a Protestant, and she succeeded in finding a balance between the views of the Catholics and the more extreme Protestants. True or false? The answer is true. What was the main source of employment in the 18th century? A. Fishing, B. Teaching, C.
Aircraft industry. D. Manufacturing. The answer is D. Manufacturing.